Hello, everyone. Scott Zambelli here with Bardstone Publishing. And unfortunately, I'm going to have an echo here. How do I stop this? Actually, the way will be to ARG. Hold up. So I have a second camera set up because I'm going to be doing some live streaming tonight. Let's see if I can shut this off. All right. I think we're good. All right. This is the problem with doing a on-the-spot quick live stream setup without pre-planning it. Used to do live streams all the time of drawing, and it's been a while, to be honest. But anyways, welcome to the Crimson Shadows Kickstarter. We got it going live now, and it's for our graphic novel, 198 pages long. So there's a lot of story content in here. And basically, it takes issues 1 through 4 of Crimson Shadows, combines them together into one graphic novel. And then in addition to the issues 1 through 4, we also have 28 pages of bonus story. We also have additional pages for concept art, cover galleries, timelines, true facts, that kind of stuff, all kinds of interesting stuff in this book. So that's what we got going on here. And so I thought, well, first and foremost, let's pull up our Kickstarter so you can see what it is. I went ahead and posted the link in the comments, and it's also in the original post as well. So let's put this up here. So here you can see we've got $1,653 raised. Our minimum goal is $3,500. Our real goal is $10,000. That's really where we want to be. But we want to get at least $3,500 for the initial print run. And when you go to the Kickstarter page, you click on the link I provided, or you go to bardstone.com as well, and the link is there. Click back this project, and you can choose your base rewards that you want. And when you go down here on the right, these are the different rewards you can get. We have 4 different covers that are available. Let me get to the covers. So we have cover A, which is right here. That's done. I did that cover there. We have cover B, which is an homage cover to Captain America Annual number 8. The original was Wolverine versus Captain America. Then we have cover C, which is done by Kevin Meinert. He's our series inker. And cover D by Brett Pinson, our series letterer. But anyways, and then, of course, our hardcover, which is created by Kevin Meinert as well. So we have 5 different covers in total to choose from. You pick the reward level that you want as your base. And then, so you go along down here and you will click pledge to get that reward. And then after you do that, you can do what's called add-ons. And with the add-ons, you can get back issues of our individual issues 1 through 4. Quantities are limited, so you're going to want to be quick to grab those if you want a specific cover. And then we also have things like enamel pins and bookmarkers and metal prints, and we have slabbed comics, t-shirts, and such. So there's a lot to choose from. So just go to the link there to check that out. So, all right. So I'm going to put up here, while we're doing this, I'm going to add this to the stage. Let's minimize this one. Let's see. How do I get this one? I want this one to be the big one. So we're going to add that and that. It won't let me do it that way. So I'm just going to, for right now, I'm going to project this screen at it won't let me enlarge this one. let's see. There we go. And then hopefully you guys can hear me still while I do this. So I'm going to do some drawing here. Like I said, the link to the Kickstarter is here. I'll do it one more time. And I thought I would do a quick sketch of, let's see, let's get this lined up a little better. Make it more. There we go. All right. This here is a sketch cover. The inside is the actual book. This is issue number 1. And you can see here the interiors of issue 1. This one's never been opened. Nice and fresh. So this is issue 1, but the cover is blank, as you can see, and it's on a cardstock that is very good to draw on. So I thought I would do a quick drawing of one of the evil doers in the storyline, which is the plague doctors. So I'm just going to start with just some quick. I'm going to try to make it a little bit more stylized than what I typically do, just to try to make it a little bit more loose of a drawing. So the plague doctors in our series are based upon the plague doctors from medieval history, where, you know, everyone knows them. They have those distinctive masks with the big beak on it. And with those, they went around, and they were known, like during the bubonic plague, to go around and treat people, do their thing. But so in ours, we kind of take that old history of them and we exaggerate it out, where over time their pursuit of their so-called sciences, let's see, it's really hard to see right now. I'm just doing light sketching right now. I'll darken it up once we get to that point, but where I can do it. But anyways, they kind of turn it into a cult, a fanaticism in pursuing perfection of the human condition through their dark science that they do. And they've created a really cool little sub cult group to add into the mix with all the monsters and everything that inhabit, I'm having trouble talking tonight, inhabit our Crimson universe. So this is going to be, I'm kind of doing a little bit of a variation of one of the characters. So as this cult that exists in the universe here, it's there's different a hierarchy in there. So this is one of the guys who are more of a leader, a higher up in the cult, so to speak. So I don't know if you can see or not. The pencils are really light, but I'm about to add the inking to do this. So I'm going to make this cover available. So if you're watching and you want to make a pledge, you can grab, let me put this back up there. You can grab this reward here if you want this one, and then message me to let me know you did this so I can mark your name to that reward. But so the early bird special, there's still some available. $120, you get all of this. You get your cover of choice for the soft cover trade. You also have some bookmarks, the Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde novels, a bonus print, the digital edition, and you also get your choice of sketch cover here. So if you choose this reward, message me that you've grabbed it. I'll put your name to it so that this specific cover will get attached to your reward. Or the other option is if you go down to the add-ons when you're checking out, so you can pick a different reward level. And then in the add-ons, I'm scrolling way, way down. We have somewhere down here. Here we go. $75. You get your choice of sketch cover. So you can just add this to whatever other reward tier you want to do. So by doing that, you can secure this. But you have to message me that you grabbed it, and this is going to be a one of a kind drawing here. So it will be for whoever does it first will get it. So okay, we'll have him holding some kind of a staff. So it's very messy, what I'm doing right now. We'll put it a little bigger. It's very messy right now. Just light lines is all I'm doing. And just so you can see so I can get an idea of where these are going to be. And then when I go in with my inks, I'll be able to tighten it up for what I want it to be. So he's got some kind of staff here that he's going to be holding. And then in this hand, I'm going to have him reaching forward, maybe holding like a bag, like he's offering up some kind of money or something. There we go. All right. So like I said, very rough. Now I'm going to go in with my inks. So now it'll be more visible to you as I do this. So like I said, grab this. Grab this as one of the rewards. Message me, and I will be able to link this to you. So what is the Crimson Shadows universe? I'll cover that a little bit while I'm drawing here. The Crimson Shadow universe is a universe of my creation. Of course, I've got my buddies Brett Pinson and Kevin Minert, who are key parts of the team here, and their input has been huge helps as well. But I started this universe because I originally wrote it years ago and kind of shelved it because I felt like it was missing something, and I didn't know what, but it was missing something. And we got Weighty LQ here. I swear this is one of the problems I have. And sorry, Weighty LQ, add your big thing here. Sorry for bothering you. Want to offer promotions. I feel like now 100% of our algorithm just sends it to people like this who just want to have us to help promote us. And I've done these in the past, and they've all been, I swear, scams. So if you're watching, Weighty, if you want to promote me for free, go for it. But no, I'm not going to pay you for it. I swear that's all my posts ever get response in. So that brings me to, one of the ways that you guys can help is if you really like this, click the link I put and go to the page, back this project, pick the rewards you want, the add-ons you want. But then go to, there's a share button on there. and you can share the links onto your pages. And that's really what we need. We need organic growth from you guys to let people know about the project, because that's really how we defeat these algorithms to get the word out. Because it's, otherwise all I get is these people who just offer paid promotions, but they really do nothing. All right. So, anyways, back to why we have Crimson Shadows. What is it? So, I created this storyline, and the base storyline hasn't changed in the years that I've had it, but kind of the motivation did, which helped me, I think, give me a little better direction. So there is a base storyline that I've had in my head for quite some time. I don't want to reveal that part because that's kind of the big twist that comes at the very, very end. So I'm not going to reveal that part. But in reading one time, we were traveling, and in reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the original novel, I came to realize how little of that story I actually knew. Like, the ending was a complete surprise, which is pretty amazing considering Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde are, and that's huge in a pop culture for our society. It's been tons of movies and other things, right? So you would think I would know the character, but I didn't. The book was so different from anything I'd ever seen or read before through various versions. And so that kind of intrigued me, how something so iconic could be so unknown. And in talking to other people, they also didn't know what the actual story was as written by Robert Louis Stevens. So I went on and I decided to read Frankenstein as well, because I was kind of inspired by, this reading the classics and seeing what did the original author intend. And so that one was Mary Shelley. And once again, so different than anything that I had ever seen or read. I mean, the iconic movies with Boris Karloff, very, very different than what the actual book is. The way the monster is portrayed and everything was just, it blew me away with how different it was. So, so that kind of inspired me to want to kind of use my vehicle of Crimson Shadows to include the original versions as intended by the original creators, and use their stories to kind of use Crimson Shadows as a continuation, kind of like the sequels to their story in a way, but have them be the side stories while my character and my main story gets told. And I wanted to do this to kind of inspire people to read the originals. So that's what our book is. We have the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. That's the original Robert Louis Stevenson book, and the Frankenstein book is the original Mary Shelley book. What is different is we put our own epilogue and prologue into those books that I wrote. And through those, we explain how it ties into our Crimson universe. So we use our version of Dracula to kind of do that. So it's been a lot of fun. And hopefully in learning these characters through our stories, people will be inspired to read the original versions that are so different than we know. So that's kind of how I tied that monster verse into our universe, and Crimson Shadows was kind of born out of that. So it's been a lot of fun to kind of weave those stories into our storyline and see where things go from there. And I feel it added a whole nother layer to the whole story that really made it intriguing. So, oh, got one error I just did. I have that. Well, no, I'm okay. This goes down this way, so I'll be fine. So these are the so-called plague doctors here. This guy is one of them. I'm giving him a little fancier cloak and stuff than what he has in the story. So since I'm kind of liking this idea of what he's looking like, if he turns out the way I imagine in my head, I'll have to write into the story a reason for him to change his cloak so that we could give him this new design. So like I said, I'm doing a sketch cover right now. If you want this particular sketch cover, you go to the Kickstarter page, which I'll put into your thread here. There's the link. It's also in the original post. Go to bardstone.com. Here's the page here. And you go down. You can either do it as an add-on, the sketch covers, or you can do the early bird special, which there's a limited number of. There's only 10 total available. So if you go on today and grab it, just send me a message either through this live stream or through the Kickstarter and let me know. Here it is, the early bird special, $120. This is everything you get, and included is a sketch cover. You get to choose which one. So in that, whoever chooses this particular cover first will be able to grab it, and I'll put it in as your reward. So we're currently at 29 backers, 22 days to go, but don't wait for the 22 days because we want this to hit as soon as possible, because there's a lot of people who will wait until it is successfully funded before they will back it themselves. So we got the plague doctor here, and I'm going to be adding some different inks to this. But first, I should work on this staff here. I'm going to have it be a tree branch or something, kind of like a walking stick. So I first started, if you're just tuning in, I did a very messy light pencil lines to get everything kind of in place. So I'll just do that. All right, he's moving along. Trying to do this a little bit faster than I normally would too. This is more like what we would call a convention sketch. There's his thumb sticking out from the other side, and we'll have his glove gauntlet there. And then this is, okay, so he's got this necklace that's coming down. From underneath his collar there. And then this part is gonna go down and droop over. There, that works. All right. We'll have this tied there. This will be like some kind of a potion that's in a bag. Maybe like this is his emergency. In case of emergency, he rips it off and can throw it at some kind of a monster or something that he's fighting. These characters here, they hunt the monsters, but not as good guys. They're hunting the monsters down to do horrible experiments to, because they're trying to unlock the secrets of these monsters so that they can use for themselves and their potions and the different things they're trying to do to further their dark sciences, as I keep calling them, to see what they can do there. So that's kind of what we got going on there. All right. So if you're just tuning in, this is all for our Kickstarter for Crimson Shadows. Click the links. Go over there. If you don't, but you want to remember later, just remember bardstone.com to do that. So I'll leave it a little bit small for now so you can see me drawing next to it. Let's see. Or I can do that. I wish I could move this over here. Will it let me? No, it doesn't let me. Maybe because it's a guest one. It won't let me present. Maybe I can do this. Nope. I'm going to play with these little setups here. I can do that one for now. That'll work. All right, so let's get back to drawing this. So I was going to have him holding this bag of like money or something, but now that I look at it, he's got this little bag around the neck, so that's going to look a little foolish, I think. So I'm going to draw it a little different. I'll figure out a different pose for his hand in a moment. So a lot of times when you start sketching stuff, you might change your mind as you go, and nothing wrong with that. This is his undercloak. And then I've got buckles on the side here that these kind of hold it in place. I've drawn them so many times, I know what the outfits look like. It's fun to draw this way because when you're in the process, the whole process of making a book is very time consuming, and while I absolutely love the process, it's a different whole set of skills putting together a book of sequential art, a comic book. And so over time, what happens is it's different than doing cover art or artwork like poster art. And so it's fun when you finally get to do something like this, where it's just a cover that you're doing, a quick drawing, hand drawing, because so much art is digital now. And while you hand draw on a screen, you're still hand drawing. It's nice to draw on paper. It's different. You make mistakes. You got to figure out how to incorporate it into the drawing or whatever. You can't just cut and paste or move it around. It's different. So it's fun to kind of let the organic growth occur. Okay, so he's got a stick in that hand. In this hand, I'm going to have him holding a dagger. There's a dagger that he has. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta count the number of fingers, especially now. You draw 6 fingers by accident. Everyone's gonna think it's digital or AI art. AI art doesn't seem to understand how many fingers a person has, which is funny. Everything's AI now. It's kind of sad. So I'm just sketching in the blade. So the blade's going to extend over that, which won't work. So I'm going to have him holding the blade upside down because I didn't plan it the way I would wanted. And I'm going to have the bottom of the blade come out down here. So this will be the blade, and that will work. So that's what I'm going to do. He's going to be holding the blade downward. I think that'll be good. There's this rounded jewel. We'll do that. And then his thumb would be coming out roughly there. All right, that works. And the gauntlet of his glove. And that will go like that. All right, so now we have his cloak coming out here. There we go. That'll work. I'll make this large so you can see it. See a little better. So if you're liking this and you want it as your reward, all you got to do is go into the Kickstarter that I posted the links for. I'll post one more time here. Well, not one more. I'll probably do 2 more, probably. You just go in there, grab either the sketch cover as an add-on or do the early bird special and then message me that you have grabbed those and that you want this as your reward. And the first person to do that will have this specific cover added. Let's see here. This is going to go down and over. Draw the belt. All right, so now the next step, let's see. So we have this arm coming out from underneath. We'll do that. We have the cape coming down. That'll flow over there. Now we got to just come up with this part. So we'll make this kind of like a, and this will flow out here. All right. I think we have the basics of the drawing down. So now the next step is the good old eraser. Can't have all these messy lines underneath. There it is up close. But I got to get rid of all the messy lines now. Some of it is just messy pencils. Some of it is smearing pencils because as my hand goes over it, it smears the pencil marks. So we want to get rid of those. I'm using a kneaded eraser. So you just go like this. I got to get a new one. This one's getting pretty filled with graphite. It's getting dark. So sometimes that can cause smears, but you want to get it nice and soft and warmed up by doing this. And this is your best friend for erasing pencils from artwork. And it also does a great job of doing it without smearing the inks, usually. So I'm going to try, since this is just meant to be more like a convention sketch, and right now I have very limited drawing supplies here, I'm going to go with some Sharpies for my inks to get my hard inks in. But first, I'm going to do some subtle grays. Let's see. It's been a while since I used these grays, so hopefully these will still have ink. Okay, they do. So I'm going to go in and just start doing my heavy dark grays first. That gives us some dark grays, and I have some lighter grays I'll do also afterwards. This has a kind of a flimsy little nub on it here. Almost gives it like a watercolor effect in a way, the way this goes. So I enjoy doing these. So I have the light kind of coming from behind and over to try to give it as much dramatic feel as I can here. I'm going to go in. I want his eyes glowing red. This might be a huge mistake. We'll find out. But I'm going to use my red Sharpie here to give a sharp red to the eyes. And then I'm hoping once that dries, the grays will be able to add some shadowing. And I want to give the indication of eyes in there. That's my hope. So far, so good. All right. So we're just going in, just imagining like I said, the light source is coming this way. So I want some heavy shadow from the There we go. Covered the red pretty good. And I'm hoping if my other gray has got some ink in it still, which it should, I'll be able to go in and do some more subtle shading to help make it a little less drastic. Actually, I should test it now just to make sure. Let's see, kind of mixing some. Yeah, that'll work. So a little bit lighter. And when you cover it this way, it helps to blend a little more. So if you go up close, we're starting to get some blending going on. All right. And then I think I have one that's a little lighter. This one. Let's see how this one looks on here. Kind of mixing. I don't usually like to do this, but I'm unlimited. That one's dying. So it looks like those are my grays I can use. All right. So we'll do this one. Especially like when you're drawing at a convention, sometimes certain markers start dying on you, and next thing you know, you got to improvise on how you're going to complete a picture. And that's kind of where I'm at now because I've got extremely limited markers with me right now. So we'll make do with what we have. All right, I'll go with this one since it's the darker. Plus, like I said, I'm going to go in with some heavy black inks also, but this will give me a good starting point here. Let's see, this color sticking up. So I'm picturing the light not getting through there. I'll cast its own shadow here. I think that'll work. Need music on. So when I used to do this, I don't know if you can do it anymore, to be honest, but when I used to do the live streams, I used to play music in the background. That way, if I'm quiet or something, it's not boring, you know, if I'm quiet while I'm concentrating on a spot. But then we started having all these issues where Facebook would pull all the audio because they would say copyright infringements or something like that. And so I had to stop doing that. Don't know how good they are now. It's been so long since I've done these. Really don't know if they're still strict on that or not with background noise, but it's pretty annoying. It's like something would be on the TV in the background, even where I wasn't actively playing music, but maybe an ad came on with a song or something, and it would get pulled off. So now, I don't know. I just think it can be kind of boring sometimes listening to someone draw with, nothing going on. So one of the things you got, and I'm guilty of this too, one of the things to be careful of as an artist is you can fall in love with your line work, so to speak, and not want to cover things up. And so it's okay to cover things up. Things in the real world get covered up. You don't see every detail of line with your natural eyes. You will have details will blur together and things like that. So it's okay to cover lines, but I know I've seen other artists do this, and I know I do it too, where you can really love your line drawing and the amount of detail you did in it, and then it can be heart-wrenching sometimes to have to cover it up because the reality is with the shadowing that you're doing, a certain area might not be visible anymore. So you got to cover it up. So you got to think of the larger picture of what you're doing, and it's okay to cover stuff up. All right. So this is our plague doctor. Give you a little spiel again. Not quite as long as the last one for those who are watching still from before, but the plague doctors are kind of our in-universe cultists. They are fanatics who have made science their god, who after becoming kind of the heroes of the bubonic plague, where they took on in the 1600s and 1700s and stuff, they've kind of become a cult of fanatics where they worship their own medicine and their techniques, and are in a constant pursuit of pushing the boundaries of nature to become something more, to make humanity more, something in their image that they want to promote. Things they see as problems they want to weed out. So things they see as weaknesses in humanity, things like that. And they have this order where they have these masks that they wear, and they never take them off, and at least in public they don't. And so they have this whole hierarchy of members and fanatics who follow them, and for them, for their culture, the ends justify the means. So as long as it's for what they deem as the greater good, there is no moral barrier that they see as more important than their moral good that they're trying to achieve. So they'll do crazy experiments on different living beings, sometimes what we would call normal human beings, and other times what we would classify as monsters and creatures. They don't see, especially with creatures, they don't see them as having their own souls. So they are, they have no problems with doing unethical experimentation on these beings that live within the universe here of Crimson Shadows. Who are those beings? Well, we have We have some different ones, but some that are popular are like we call him Adam Frankenstein, otherwise known as Frankenstein's monster from Mary Shelley's book. We do use the book as our source material for what Adam is like. Now, in the book, his name is he's just referred to as the monster, or I believe also the creation, if I remember correct. That's what he is in there. But for our universe, it takes place a couple hundred years later. He has since moved on. He's very well read. That's something that might surprise you. He's the creature in Mary Shelley's book is very intelligent. He speaks well. He's not some kind of brute that just grunts and groans and walks around and doesn't know what and acting like a young child. He's very well read. He contemplates his own existence. He reads various books. Like one of his favorite books in Mary Shelley's novel is Paradise Lost and those kind of things. So he's always contemplating his own existence and what is he in relation to the world around him. He struggles with that, just like many people do, just in our own existences. And so he's kind of on this search for who he is. Well, in our book, he's come a long way, and he has given himself a name. He recognizes his creator is Victor Frankenstein, and even though Victor rejected him, he recognizes him as his namesake, as his father, so to speak. And so he keeps that last name in our book. And then he also refers to himself, names himself Adam in the sense of, from biblically speaking, the first man was Adam. The first of our kind is Adam. Well, he views himself as the first of his kind. And so he gives himself the name Adam also. So and the book does reference a spot where he does contemplate himself as being Adam, as the first of his kind. So we've kind of extrapolated that out to being, after he's come to terms with his own existence, he kind of names himself that to kind of acknowledge who he is and what, in reality versus maybe what his creator wanted. So, and he's had to struggle with the feelings of, being rejected by his own creator, which is Victor Frankenstein. So he's struggled with that over the years. In our book, he's married. He's come to find somebody who understands him and sees him for who he is. That's kind of a play on a kind of paying homage to the Universal version of Frankenstein, where he falls, where he meets a blind woman, I believe. So we kind of, and who kind of stays with him. So, anyways, that's kind of acknowledging that portion. And now my marker is dying here. We're getting to the little end, but this will work because I'm getting close to the end, anyways. All right. So now we got that. But anyways, the plague doctors, intrigued by Adam's existence, starts hunting him down to perform experiments on him as well. All right, let's see here. We're gonna go in with some black Sharpie here to fill in the pure black areas. This is a super duper, this is a thicker Sharpie, and whew, you can smell those fumes. All right. What is Crimson Shadows? I guess I should talk about what Crimson Shadows is. I'm talking about all the side stuff with the creatures and the plague doctors and all those things. But Crimson Shadows itself, it centers around our main character, Julius Resnick, who is a family man. He's an established professor of ancient histories. It takes place in 1888 and in the Whitechapel area of London. And you might recognize the name Whitechapel. That's where the Jack the Ripper killings took place. And we kind of used the Jack the Ripper killings as the center point for the story. And everything kind of is built around that. So what we do is we've got our main character, Julius Resnick, who until recently was just a professor at a local college. He studied history and artifacts. He loved collecting artifacts, and also he was a fixture in the community with his wife and daughter, their local church, and those kind of things. But a few weeks earlier than when the story starts, we have Julius getting very ill, and his world starts just crumbling around him, and he starts losing weight and is having these crazy nightmares and dreams of bringing harm to certain people within the community. And then as the Jack the Ripper case unfolds and details start coming out to the public, Julius realizes a lot of the details of what's coming out match his dreams exactly. So unsure if he's just going crazy, is he losing his mind, or is there something more to this? Julius starts searching for answers. In the process of searching for answers, the legendary detective Sherlock Holmes is put on the case to hunt down Jack the Ripper and put a stop to his murderous ways. And unfortunately for Julius, the path for Jack the Ripper leads to him. So he's in a race against time as Sherlock Holmes is investigating him and his possible ties to the Jack the Ripper case. He's in a race to prove his own innocence, to get to the bottom of things and figure out what the truth is in this crazy, crazy circumstances that's going on around him. In the process, the trail takes him to a dark underworld comprised of various creatures and monsters. Some of those creatures and monsters include Dracula, Frankenstein. We have vampires and demons and other parts of this Crimson Shadows universe that unveil themselves to him, and a world that he never even knew existed starts unfolding before him. So the question is, can Julius save himself, save his family, save his soul from the darkness that seems to be following him everywhere he goes? So that's the basic storyline. of Crimson Shadows. But you have to buy it to read the rest. All right, we're moving along here. I'm just doing some heavy outlines here to really make things pop for some of the things here. I think since the light is heavy out there, let's see. Well, I'm going to make it a dark, like some kind of dark tunnel behind him, just so I can kind of add some framing to the picture. So as I said before, if you want this one, all you got to do is go to the Crimson Shadows Kickstarter page. Link is in the comments, or go to bardstone.com. Go to back this project and then choose either the early bird special, which has a sketch cover as one of the rewards. You choose that, or do a sketch cover add-on to whatever reward you choose. But whoever does that and messages me first to say you want this particular cover included as your sketch cover, you will get this. But it's first come, first serve. So hopefully, if you want this, you'll be doing it soon enough. And what I'll do also later on is I'll scan this in and post a clear scan of this. Let's see. All right, that's good. All right. Just got to do the staff and the hand up here as for the heavy black outlines go. And then I'll do a few more other spots, but I'm getting close to being done here. I'll make this large so you can see this better. Put that full screen there. Being a little more quiet because I'm trying to make sure I don't accidentally draw lines over a part I don't want to draw lines over. All right, that gives me those. Now I'll go in with my regular pen so I can do finer stuff, but I'll do some dark lines in some spots that I want heavier lines in, just to make those inks pop a little more. What happens is when you draw all your line work first and then you do markers over them, it can kind of dull the darkness of the black line. So sometimes I gotta go over and redraw over the lines just to give it a nice solid black tone to it. All right. Well, that might be good enough for now, at least for the video. When I can sit in a more comfortable position, I might add a couple little touch-ups before. Oh, I gotta add the backdrop though. What am I doing? The backdrop is key. So let's do. I'm just gonna. I'm kind of like in an old tunnel type looking thing. Let's go with a bigger one. Leave a little thin line here to indicate that corner of the hat there. Otherwise, it'll just be blending in. There we go. That's just coming along good. If my gray markers weren't dying on me right now, I would go ahead and make some brick lines here coming out and have them kind of fading into the distance. So he's like in some kind of underground sewer. Excuse me. I think the fumes are getting to me. Sharpies can be strong. Oh, got to do this part. Almost forgot that little section. That would have looked weird. All right, there we go. And then I'll give it my old signature. I'll sign it up here. And there you go. I might do a little bit of touch-ups, like I said, once I'm in better lighting and not a weird angle here to draw. But I think that gives us a good representation. Like I said, I'll scan it in also once I'm fully done and give it give it, post it so people can see it nice and clear. It looks like the camera's a little bit blurry when I get it up close. But there you go. So thank you everybody for joining in as I did this quick little sketch cover here. Had a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing everybody through the Kickstarter. So I'll post the link one more time, and I will do a quick little exit video so everyone can see one more of these. Let's see. We will do, since I talked about Frankenstein so much, I'll say, who is Adam Frankenstein?